Hello, beautiful souls. In this video, I wanted to discuss what the higher self is and a soul's origin. So, um, when I started this journey and people were talking about, they throw words around and you're going like, what is a higher self? I had no idea or no concept until I actually met my higher self. So your higher self is your all-knowing spirit, the future you that is closest to God's source. That is your higher self. So there is a cord that connects you with your higher self. So it is this etheric umbilical cord that connects you to your higher self. And I would communicate a lot with this being, but didn't know exactly who she was. I call her a she. At the time I called her a she, it just felt like feminine energy when I would speak to her. So, and this was when I started my journey in 2016, hearing the concept of a higher self. So we have a higher self, we have our team, so our guides that are with us. Our guides can be, there are guides that are with us from the moment we're born and are with us until we go back into spirit form. We have guides that come and go. So if you're wanting to learn to paint or have some other kind of hobby or something like that that you're wanting to do, going back to school, and you have my daughter, one of her guides that was with her at the time was a psychologist. And it was amazing because it was one that she actually learned about in class when she was in high school, and she was just fascinated by psychology. And when I had no idea that she learned about this specific psychologist, and I brought her forward in a reading for my daughter and specifically said the name. So it was amazing, to bring that forward. But we have all of these guides. I call them my spiritual team, your guides, whatever you want to call them. There are guardian angels, all that kind of stuff. Absolutely beautiful and amazing. But in this video, let's talk about the higher self. So the higher self is actually, and again, this is all through my experience. We all have different experiences. There are different aspects of spirituality that people experience in this lifetime and can bring that forward. So with the higher self, I had an experience that told me who my higher self is. And the higher self is our spirit's origin. So to differentiate, in my opinion, the soul is our ego. The soul is our humanness. The spirit is our all-knowingness. So my spirit's origin or higher self actually presented herself to me. This is why it's so important. And when I teach and talk to my students and those that I do readings for, I always ask, do you have a meditation practice in place? Even if it's for 5 minutes. Meditate in the noise. Meditate in quiet. Meditate with binaural beats, with shamanic drumming. There are different apps. One of them is called Calm. I don't use it, but it's something that I've seen and I feel that it would be a good tool. But play with it and see what you like and what you don't like. The point of meditation is to know the self, to be quiet with the self. Not just be quiet, but meditating in the noise has helped me as well. So when my husband and my daughter are playing their online game and they're yelling at the screen and the dogs are barking and it's in the middle of the day and I can hear other dogs and people outside playing, I'll meditate in that. Or even when the TV is going, and I'll do some stretches, and afterwards I'll, connect to Gaia and connect to God's source. I'll say my prayers in the busyness because it allows me to quiet myself, which is very important for us empathic beings out there, the ones that feel immensely. If you go out in public and you're like, You know what I'm talking about. You go out there, you can only take certain dosages of being around a large group of people, that type of thing. Meditation would be a beautiful, beautiful addition to your practices that does not need to take hours. So 5 minutes, 15 minutes. If you're feeling spunky, 30 minutes. There are times where I will meditate for an hour and it feels like it's been 15 minutes. Yes, there are mind-blowing experiences, but other times it's just being with the self. And it's truly very important. Okay, so got that out of the way. I wanted to make sure we talked about that as well. But let's go back to my soul's origin story. So we talked about what the higher self is. And it's interesting because I could see sometimes because we have, just like with our human senses, hearing, seeing, feeling, knowing, touch, taste, smell, it is all as above, so below. It's a law, just like gravity. So there are also psychic senses. So knowing, seeing, hearing, feeling, taste, and smell are also psychic senses. So we have fancy names for them, like clairvoyance is seeing, but you can just say that you're a seer, or I know, or I feel a lot. And they'll come in different ways as well. So I can see through my feeling, I can see texture. That makes sense. Whole other video. But soul's origin story. So a few years ago, I started taking a channeling class to put myself out there more, because I could hide behind doing my one-on-one readings. So I was putting myself out there more and, channeling in front of a group. And my mentor at the time had guests on. Some of them were very in tune with their spirituality, and others had no clue. And I always tease, if you are a Harry Potter fan, those that are not awakened, I call them muggles. So non-magical folk. So, some are muggles, and some are open to spirituality where they understand, the concepts and all that kind of stuff. So before meeting this one person, we met once a week for like 6 weeks. And before meeting this one person in particular, I saw wings. They were just wings. They were angel wings, and they were just spread out and up. They were beautiful, and they were just wings. No being in the middle, nothing. Wings. White, angelic wings. When I met this person, I had such shaking in the back of my neck. So much so that it would stop me from fluidly turning my head. I had to it was really weird. I was very choppy with it because I could feel the rush of energy. It is my 100% belief, because we exchange energy with everyone. So yes, with the person that hits you in the parking lot at the grocery store with a cart, you're exchanging energy with them, as you are with like-minded souls as well. As you are with listening to music, as you are with watching TV, reading books. So that's why it's important to be mindful of what you're absorbing and what you're around. So getting back to this person, when I had met her, I believe I was the first to actually read for her. And I brought through a lot of validating evidence, and then, messages and everything for her. And then I happened to go to her website, and I was so drawn to her. And on one of the pages, it talked about this, Seraphim program and all that kind of stuff. And I had messaged her. Well, she had messaged me and she saw that I had purchased something from her. She had, messaged back, and I said, oh, I don't know if you remember me, but I was in Susan Kennard's group, channeling group. She goes, oh, I remember who you are. And so we would chat back and forth. So I started her Seraphim program. Her name is Rihanna Aronser. She, over the coming days after starting her program, which is a series of MP3 audios, I went outside and I saw, now I'm in Florida, we have lizards the heck all over the place. Little lizards. I don't ever see salamanders. They're more wiggly. If you look up a gecko versus a salamander, they are different. They move differently. They're more watery in the way that a salamander moves. But I went outside one night to take the dogs out, and there were a few salamanders. They were white salamanders that were outside on my little patio wall. And I looked at them and I'm like, oh, well, hello. I haven't seen you guys before. And I was just fascinated. They squiggled away. And I didn't think much of it other than the fact that I am an Aries, which is a fire sign. And the elemental being within the element of fire is the salamander. So that's what I assumed. And I didn't look too much into it. So then another day or so later, I do see a lot especially at night. I do see during the day, but at night there's a lot more communication. There's a lot more downloads. I do get a lot of assistance from the energy of the moon and the different phases as well. So I receive a lot of communication downloads and all of that a lot at night, but I do more so now during the day as well. But at the time when I laid down, husband and I were going to bed. 2 dogs are with me. And this was a bit later. I had fallen asleep and then I woke up. And when I opened my eyes, I could see coming towards me, and they were with my physical eyes. I saw a dragon. It was a dragon, and it was like kind of far away, and then it walked up and then just like walked around kind of showing me like I'm a dragon. And I was just totally in awe and fascinated. I didn't want it to go away, and I was like, and I kind of tap Ray, and I try and talk without moving my mouth because I never want to scare it away or jolt anything away. And I'm like, there's a dragon in front of me right now. And he's like, oh, cool. And I'm like, shh. He's like, well, you're talking to me. It's so funny because I'll be like talking to him and tapping him, and he'll try and answer me. And I'm like, shh. He's used to it now because it's been quite a few years. He's so sweet. So I had seen the dragon. So then afterwards, maybe a couple days later or so, I had gone outside with the dogs, and I was talking to the Seraphim. And I had asked them, am I communicating with you? Are you communicating with me? And I was outside for quite some time. I happened to come in, and at the time, my daughter had turned the TV on to Sister Act, the first movie, the one with Whoopi Goldberg. And it was at the exact moment that I walked in that they were singing the song, Sweet Seraphim. Come on. You just can't make this stuff up. I'm telling you. So I was like, holy crap. I said more than holy crap, but we'll keep this PG. So then maybe a day or so later, and I was, talking to the Seraphim. I had posted a lot of pictures of on my Facebook page and my Infinite Heart and Soul Facebook page of all of these feathers, because feathers were popping up everywhere. They were on my car in weird places. They were on my seat. They were on my shirt. When my husband and I were sitting outside on the patio, Ray goes, is that a cardinal feather in the spider web? And I have this bird bath in the middle of my garden in the back, and it's just covered in plants because I can't have enough plants. So this bird bath just has a whole bunch of plants in it, and there are two huge trees on either side of this bird bath, and there was a spider web linking the bird bath and this tree, and there was, and I went up there, I'm like, oh my God, there's a cardinal feather in the spider web. And cardinals for me, depending on, I feel into the energy. Sometimes the cardinal energy is telling me mediumship, and other times cardinal energy talks about the angelic realm. And this is the start of me understanding that there's a shift in the energy, and the cardinals were telling me about the angelic realm connection. So then after that, I happened to my phone had buzzed, and I am a Kundalini Reiki master and teacher, and my teacher who attuned me had messaged me. Now, she never messages me. The woman is really busy, and she has a family, kids, that type of thing. So she never messages me, but we chat all the live long day when I have my massages and Reiki and everything with her. And she happened to message me, and she said, this made me think of you, because I was talking about the dragon that I had seen. And she showed me this beautiful picture of this gorgeous dragon and this woman just standing there like hugging the face. And I was like, oh my, get out of here again with the dragons and everything else. Now, a year or so prior to, or longer, probably a year and a half before this occurred with the whole seraphim thing, you can get angel wings. So it happened. It was in the middle of Reiki. I was laying on my stomach, and I had between my shoulder blades like this burning sensation. And if you know Harry Potter, you know the snitch and how the wings just go boom, and they just like unfold and open up. It was like burning, and I could feel the energy. I could feel the heat there, and it just went boom. And I just had these wings that just woof, that went open. And I was laying there, and I'm like, Nicole, I have wings. Is that a thing? And she's like, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. And I actually came home, and I used to Google a lot of stuff. I don't do that anymore, but and it's a thing. You can get your angel wings. They are just another level of vibration, of frequency that you tap into, and they can help you with the frequency. They can cocoon you. They can help to cleanse out your aura. There's many things you can do with your angel wings. So now fast forward again to this time where, saw white salamanders and the feathers and the dragon, the whole Whoopi Goldberg thing with the song Sweet Seraphim. It's still awesome when I think about it. Like, this is so personal, a spiritual journey. And that's why I never, ever give 2 cents to people that don't believe, or I need to prove something to them or anything. Don't ever feel like you ever have to prove anything. This is an individual journey. You can't force someone to dress the way you do, or a certain religion or certain political beliefs or whatever else. Spirituality is just like that. It is a very personal experience, and we all experience it differently, and that's why it's important to be around like-minded souls so you can express yourself freely. Okay. So I had asked, I was laying in bed, and I said, who am I? And I kept chanting, and the seraphim kept coming forward, and they kept calling themselves the seraph I am. The seraph I am. Not the seraphim. The seraph I am. So as I was laying there, I had 3, so my angel wings are between my shoulder blades and the upper back. I had 3 more spots going down my back, down my spine, that had this weird sensation, and they popped open and boom, wings. So I sat there because it's like a burny, weird, energetic sensation. There's no question that there's something going on there. I'm not making this stuff up. It happened. I felt it. I had 4 sets of wings. Huge wings. So I was told by my higher self and my guides, because they came in together, look at Rihanna's page. So I went to Rihanna Arnser's page and I looked at the Seraphim program. There is a picture of wings that go straight up. Those were the same exact wings I saw in my mind's eye prior to meeting Rihanna. Those were the wings that she had as a picture on her Seraphim Order page. The same exact ones, the same exact pictures. So when I was listening to the Seraphim program, Rihanna describes who the Seraphim are, because she is, her higher self is a Seraphim angel. The Seraphim angels, I might cry. But it's what I do, and I'm so excited about it, and it's such a profound experience for me. The Seraphim angels are white dragons that reside with God's source. They have 4 sets of wings. They are the fiery angels that reside with God. The salamanders, the element of fire, and they were white. The dragon that I saw, the wings. Then the start of the feathers, and then started with the cardinals coming forward. I saw the cardinal feather, and a lot more cardinals started to come forward, and I recognized that energy as being angelic, and sometimes the energy they were telling me that they were about mediumship. My higher self is a Seraphim angel. Now I was chatting with Rihanna, and she says, do you know your soul's origin? And a huge piece of advice is, if you're having a reading from somebody, if you're having a reading from me, I don't want to know anything, because I bring forward validating evidence. So you might say things that the guides will bring in to validate before I bring through a message for you. So never feed the spiritualist. I call us spiritualists because everyone's different. A psychic, a medium, intuitive, animal communicator, whatever you want to call us. I just call us in a group of spiritualists. That's just the term I use. So when Rihanna had asked, I said, I don't know. And when she tapped in, she was like dumbfounded, and she goes, Kristen, you're a seraphim. And it was validation for me, because I didn't tell her anything at all. I didn't tell her anything I experienced. I just told her that I felt we had a profound connection. And that's after she told me that I was a seraphim, I told her everything that happened. That's why they were calling themselves the Seraph I Am, because the Seraph I am. So it was a beautiful series of events that spanned a matter of a few weeks. But this is why it's important that I talk about meditating, because if we don't meditate, we're not mindful in our daily lives, where we're able to see these magical experiences. Maybe if I'm too in my head, I wouldn't have noticed the salamanders outside, the white salamanders. So you know how sometimes you can see someone and you don't even know what they wore, but at least you saw the person, knew who it was, but can't tell what they were wearing. So when you're more mindful and observant and aware of your surroundings, this is where you can get the signs, the synchronicities, the God winks, whatever you want to call them. These were series of events that I cannot deny the seraphim were giving me. Then the other thing that happened was when Rihanna said, do you know your name yet? your soul's or your spirit's origin name, your higher self's name? And I said, no, I don't know. And she's like, you'll get it. It'll come to you. So I declared it. And I had said, I'd love to know my name. And I remember I went outside one night, took the dogs out. I let them back in and I just stayed outside for a bit. And I was looking outside and I was just talking to all that is and just breathing the air and looking at everything. And it was interesting because it looked like the stars were spelling out a name. And I don't normally see that. I see constellations. I'm like, it looks like you're spelling out a name. It looked like it was a short name and it definitely started with an A. So when I asked, does my name start with an A, I use myself as a pendulum. A pull to the right is a yes, a pull to the left is a no. So I got pulled to the right, which is a yes. I'm like, okay, I let it go and I'll allow the name to come to me. So the next day, I went to Reiki and had a massage. And as I was laying on my stomach, and I'm starting to get in this meditative state prior to beginning the massage and the Reiki, I heard in my head, Azra. And I picked my head up and I looked over at Nicole and I'm like, I know my name. And I explained it to her in that moment. So my higher self, my soul's origin, spirit's origin is a seraphim angel, and her name is Azra. So, and after I met Azra, she had introduced me to the elemental dragons, which I see in my mind's eye. The earth dragon is beautiful, looks like a dinosaur. As you can tell, these are very magical experiences and very dear to my heart, because I was physically holding the head and just leaning against this earth dragon. The dragons, like many elemental beings, can shy away from humans, and they feel into our energy and they know when it's ready. So when I was in tune with my dragon seraphim higher self, I was then opened in the doors and greeted by the elements or the elemental dragons. So I was introduced each night to a different element. The water dragon, the fire dragon, the earth dragon. The earth dragon looks like a dinosaur. And it was, out of all of them, they were all beautiful, but that one was very profound to me because I did another video. So if you go onto my YouTube channel, Infinite Heart and Soul, I did another video about bilocating. And when you bilocate, you're immersed in your senses. You're in a totally different realm. It's like a near-death experience without the near-death part. It's an experience. It's a physical experience. And in my mind's eye, when I saw this earth dragon, I was there. I was holding his head and leaning up against him. I could feel the scales. I could see he was like that brown almost in color, brown or brown gray in color. It looked like a dinosaur. That's all I can keep saying. It was just mind-blowing. So I know that was a lot. I always try and keep my videos short, and now it's almost 30 minutes. But I hope this helps, so you understand some of the concepts about what the higher self is. And please, please drop any comments or questions or anything down below. I'd love to hear from you. Please, if you like this video, please like it, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe. Consider subscribing to my video so that way you are notified each time a video comes out. I'm trying to do one a week. This time I did like 2 today. So yay me, but I'm trying to do more of those videos. But I hope this helped on your journey. And I like sharing these experiences with, putting in some teaching things, aspects in there as well. Because I know when I started my journey, I have a lot of magical experiences where I am in other realms. I do see physically a lot of other beings, galactics, angels, all of that, and have a lot of experiences. And some people can think that you're just a wackadoo, and that's okay, because that's where they are in this moment in time. I'm very grateful that I'm very welcomed and surrounded by very loving friends and family that support me on my journey, because this is very real. These things happen. Life is way more magical. If you're watching this video, there's a reason for this. So what synchronicities and God winks have happened to you? Have you seen angel wings prior to watching this video right now? I want to know. Have you seen a salamander? Has anyone talked about the element of fire? There's so many different ways that these signs and winks can flow to you. So on that note, it is almost the new year, 2022. So wishing you all a very happy new year. If I don't pop on sooner than that, be well. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.